Hello, distinguished friends and colleagues. This is Stuart Hamilton, the Pro-Life Activities Coordinator for the Archdiocese of Louisville, Kentucky, serving under Deacon Stephen Bowling. And this is 5 Minutes for Life, where we take 5 minutes to discuss one topic, one ministry, or one event that affects the pro-life cause here in the Archdiocese of Louisville. Well, I haven't made one of these since April. I can't think of anything that's happened in the pro-life community since April. Yes, we will be talking about that leaked Supreme Court brief, as well as what that may mean for Kentuckiana state law when it comes to the issue of abortion. However, before I do, I would be remiss if I did not mention, at least, the tragic shooting that has occurred down in Uvalde, Texas. Now, I don't know all the details, but at least 19 children have been shot and killed, and 2 adults. Those are parents who said yes to life and had those lives tragically ripped away from them. And we just need to pray for them. We need to pray for the community, pray for the parents, pray for the whole state of Texas, and pray that these shootings would end, because ultimately I do believe that that is spiritual warfare. Now let's get into the video proper. Apparently, what has happened is a Supreme Court document was leaked. We don't know who leaked it. We don't know for what reason, but it does appear to be for activist reasons. And the document does appear to be an early draft from back in February of a majority opinion ruling in the Dobbs versus Jackson abortion case. And if this document is any indicator, it seems the court is poised to overturn Roe V Wade. Now, I've been walking around in a daze saying, you mean it could really be over? Yes, it could. Now, we don't want to get out over our skis on this because it is an early draft, all the way from back in February. Things might change. There might be a lessening of the wording and whatnot, but the states are reacting as though Roe v. Wade is finished. And what we've had happening is legislatures rushing to put in laws to either protect life or to protect the right to abortion. We have activists running around firebombing pregnancy resource centers and defacing churches in some places. But thanks be to God for the common sense state of Kentucky. I've been down to pray at the abortion clinic twice since this brief leaked, and there's no increased hostilities down at the abortion clinic. There are a few more escorts, but they're not more aggressive, they're not more hostile than they ever are, and we Catholics are still allowed to peaceably assemble and pray without much increase in tension there. So thank God for that, and let's continue to pray for that, because that's the best possible scenario. And speaking of common sense, there's a lot of common sense laws in Kentucky. Last time I was together I talked about the House Bill 3, which basically overturned a veto to be passed. House Bill 3 basically made abortion illegal after the 15th week of pregnancy, but a U.S. district judge did put a temporary restraining order on House Bill 3. Now that's working its way out in the court system. Meanwhile, it may be a moot point, because if Roe v. Wade is overturned, Kentucky has what's called a trigger law in place. It's a law that will become effective and immediately will affect people right as Roe v. Wade is overturned. Now, the trigger law in Kentucky will essentially make abortion illegal. And I want to read it directly from the document. This is from House Bill 148, the summary of the original version. It says this: no person shall knowingly administer to, prescribe for, procure for, or sell any pregnant woman any medication, drug, or other substance with the specific intent of causing or abetting the termination of the life of an unborn human being. And no person shall use or employ any instrument or procedure upon a pregnant woman with the specific intent of causing or abetting the termination of the life of an unborn human being. Any person who violates the prohibition is guilty of a Class D felony. Now, this does have a sort of proviso here for the life of a mother. So it will allow abortion if it is to save the life of a mother. But Those cases don't really exist. There's no case I can think of where you must perform specifically an abortion to save the life of a mother. Now you have things like women may get cancer and they need chemotherapy, which may cause a miscarriage, but that's not an abortion. Or a woman may have an ectopic pregnancy and a procedure may need to be done on the fallopian tubes. And that will have a secondary effect. The baby will be lost, but those aren't abortions because they don't act upon the baby proper. So I'm not really sure if there is such a case, but that is the only allowance in this law. That means all surgical abortions, all chemical abortions, all abortion pills will be made illegal. Now, I'm sure they're going to have to work out some laws on this. For example, on the federal level, it is legal to order abortion pills through the mail, and I'm not sure how the state plans on monitoring that. But for all intents and purposes, abortion will be made illegal if Roe v. Wade is overturned. Now, that doesn't mean we get to celebrate and say it's completely over. We have two things we need to do. First, we need to really cinch up our Kentucky state law by putting appropriate amendments to our Constitution. On November 8th, you need to vote for amendment line item number 2 for an amendment to our Constitution of Kentucky, which would state basically that there's no way anyone can read into our Constitution the right of an abortion. You need to get out there on November 8th. You need to vote for that so we can cinch that up in our Constitution. Secondly, just because abortion is finished does not mean we won't have pregnancies that are crisis situations. We need to start volunteering at our maternity home, our local maternity home, as well as our pregnancy resource centers. We need to help them with donations. We need to help them with our time as well as our talents, so that when these women have these crisis pregnancy situations, we are fully available to help them out. So we want to vote November 8th. We want to help the maternity homes and the pregnancy resource centers. Okay, well, that's all I've got for you this week. If you like what I'm doing, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, human life is worthwhile. Human life is worth protecting because every human life is valuable in God's eyes. God bless, and we'll see you here next month.